She's ready. There's Mr. Adam. Hi, Adam. Hi, Victoria. There she is. Hello. Good morning.
Good
Hi.
morning.
Hi, James. Nice to see you. All righty. It is 9 o'clock. Welcome, everybody, to another version of Facebook Live. Hey, Raul. Nice to see you. We did have a few changes this week that I wanted to go over before we get started with questions. But in the meantime, ask your questions. We can just like have them ready and waiting. This morning, the switch was flipped. And so if you upload any new space, or if you upload a model and you create a new space, it will automatically default to the new Showcase 3.0. I strongly suggest that everybody start using it. I use it exclusively now. It's pretty good. In the event that there is something that you can't do, you also have the choice of going back to Showcase 2 and or Workshop 2. So the original plan was that Workshop 2 was going to go away yesterday, but it did not, thanks to all of you and your input. Our awesome engineer, Hawken, did listen to you all, which is really good. And the decision has been made to wait a little while, but please use Showcase 3 whenever you can, as much as you can. It's the way things are going. There will be more features that will be developed in the future that will only be available on Showcase 3. So definitely start using it. And if you find any issues with it, definitely support wants to know. So write into us at support@matterport.com. And Jack is now joining us, and I'm sure Jack is very happy about this news. So anyway, for those of you who just joined, the news is that all uploads right now will create spaces that will default to Showcase 3, but you can still access Showcase 2 and Workshop 2 for the meantime. And thanks to you also, Isabel, you mentioned that our documentation wasn't completely updated yet. We have a document writer who's on this full time. He's awesome. He is almost done writing all of the new documents for the new stuff. It'll be another couple of weeks, few weeks, but hopefully that will happen shortly, and you should see some new ones up there already. So yeah, it's very good news, and I can't thank everybody enough. For those of you who gave input, for Isabel is one of them. Jack, I know, gave us a lot of input. We are listening to you, and we are trying to fix everything that's broken and to give you a great product. So
Awesome.
Thank you.
Is the documentation for the 360 to 3D conversion coming as well?
Yeah, actually, he's working on that as well.
Okay, that arose several times this week. So I think we need to clarify so you mentioned, another thing that happened yesterday is that building started for the 360 cameras, the spherical cameras.
Yes.
And so a lot of confusion arose on that versus the 360 views from the Pro 1 and Pro 2 cameras.
Okay, so
let's take a minute to clarify. So
yes.
there, 360, the term 360 is used in many scenarios. One is the Insta and Theta cameras that are now compatible with Matterport's Capture app. And so those, the billing began on the classic plans. Those are $29 for the first 100 scans, and then 58 for 100 plus, right? And
correct.
So you can mix and match, you can use them exclusively, or you can use them along with the Pro 1 and Pro 2 camera to create a Matterport model. So that is one kind of 360. Another kind of 360 is just the 360 view that we all know and love. Those can be just included in the highlight reel, or they can be placed on the map so that there's a green icon that you can access in your tour. And then finally, we can convert the 360 views now to 3D if you place them on the map and Capture and click on them again to access the menu to convert them to 3D. And so I think the need for documentation is because 360 refers to so many things, so that whenever 360 is referred
Yeah.
to, people are like, oh, what about this?
Yeah. So remember, the difference is 360 camera, which I call usually a 360 spherical camera, is the Theta and the Ricoh. And then there's the 360 view, which is a type of scan, right? So yeah, don't get those two confused. The other thing that you need to know is that uploads, if you have one scan in a model that's done with a non-Matterport camera, like either with one of the spherical cameras or the BLK or actually a Pro 2 Lite, then it won't count towards your free uploads, and it does process at the $29, right? Which is different than the normal $19 if you just use Matterport. So there's definite reasons to stick with your Matterport camera. Some people will take 360 views outside with their Matterport camera and try and convert those to 3D scans. That's perfectly okay. That doesn't count. That model will still process at the $19. All right, but please make sure that you understand that those uploads do not count towards your free uploads. Another point of confusion is that we also changed the pricing structure for large uploads. They used to count towards your free processing. They do not anymore. So if you have large spaces, models that you're uploading, they will be charged at $38 and don't count towards the free uploads. All right, questions? All right, let's answer some questions.
So Raul wants to know if the spherical cameras work better in exterior conversions. And what do you think, Dee? I don't have a spherical camera, so I don't know.
So I have heard some people say that when they take outdoor scans, 360 views with a spherical camera and then convert it to 3D, it does work better. I don't have any empirical data to support that, so I don't know. I assumed that it would be the same process. You take the image and then the software takes over and it doesn't really matter what the camera is, but a very trustworthy source told me that, so try it and see what happens. The other thing is that the Theta Z1 is now out of beta and it does very well, and we've had some people posting some examples. So if you are considering buying a 360 spherical camera, you should definitely look at the Theta Z1.
So John Rudy wants to know, how do you convert to 3D? And so this arises every day, and I'm glad that there will soon be documentation. So you do a 360 view at the location where you want to convert it to 3D. And if you want to convert it, make sure that you're relatively close to a nearby 3D scans, because what happens during the conversion is that the capture app will look around to see if there are any 3D scans for it to align to. So if you do a 360 view like 2 miles away, then obviously it cannot connect, or if there's a door between it, then it cannot connect because there's no images for it to connect to. So first you do a 360 view, and then you place it on the capture map, and then finally you click on it again, and then you will get a menu saying that, hey, do you want to convert it to 3D? And it may or may not succeed. But for people who do it often, they say that it is getting better, so that's good news. Give it a try. And so there was one thing that I don't quite understand. So when you convert it, it turns into 2 spots. It turns the 360 view is still there, but then you also get a simulated 3D scan. So when you upload it, does that count as 2?
Yes.
Okay.
It will count as a 360 and a 3D scan.
So once I convert a 360 view to a 3D scan, can I delete the original 360 view because it is no longer? Okay. Yes. I did not know that.
Actually, a secret. If you delete any scans, we can get them back on the back end.
Get them back where?
So if you have a model and you delete, I don't know, the last 10, and you're like, oops, I didn't mean to delete them, you can upload that. They're not really deleted. They're still in the manifest, and I can get them back for you.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I have done that before, the accidental deletion. And
Yeah.
then it's like, oh my gosh, doesn't connect anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so definitely that's something that's probably not very well known. The other thing you have to know is that when you're scanning with the spherical camera, the 360 spherical cameras, if something is misaligned or you need something stitched, that isn't very successful. So if you see that scans are being placed in the wrong location, don't ignore that, delete it and rescan it. Uh, Fixing and stitching models that are created with a Matterport camera will work more often than not, but we cannot fix or stitch spaces that were created with the spherical cameras. Sorry.
And so Sandy also asked something that people often ask about. So when you scan with the Theta or Insta, then no, Matterport will not sell you matter packs or floor plans. There are third-party vendors who may do floor plans, but the matter pack, you're out of luck. It's not available because there's no actual 3D data. It's all simulated, so the point cloud will probably not come out very crisp.
Yeah, and that's true even if you just have one scan from a 360 camera. So if you want floor plans or matter packs, don't use them.
But you can, like, if you're just using them to fill in imagery, you can delete them and upload a separate version just for the matter pack or floor plan, I guess.
Yeah. Hi, Claudius.
So Yan says that 360 placements are, they're still
Yeah.
kind of challenging.
Yeah. So if when you're scanning, you sort of know where you're going to want to place um, one of your 360 views, you should take a scan that's perpendicular to where you want that 360 view to be outside, because it actually links to one of your scans, and where that, if you draw a line between one of your 3D scans and where you want to place your 360 view, if so you draw that line, where it intersects the wall is where that little green puck will be placed. So if you kind of know where you're going to be taking 360 views and where you want to place them, you can then think to yourself, oh, I need a scan inside the building at this location. So you can do a little bit of planning, but yeah, it's something that we know about and that we'll work on in the future to make it sort of better and easier to use and easier to place.
So the logic sometimes is not great. Let's say that you have a beautiful garden that happens to be right outside the bathroom, then you have to come in through the
The
bathroom.
bathroom, yeah.
And, but logically, maybe the homeowner will say, well, why can't you come into the dining room or the living room?
Yeah. Yeah, and so this is a brand new feature, and we will definitely work on making it better. But for now, please bear with us. It's a really nice feature that we didn't have before, and so I think there is a lot of value that's been added.
Yes, but ideally, so what I would love is for the user to be able to specify which
Yeah.
3D scan they would like to, like if you want to connect to scan number 26 to link it to, 3D view number 5, 360 view number 5. And then you can create the navigation path of where you can and cannot go.
Yeah, or to be able to just say where you want the puck placed, right?
And where you want to come back in mostly.
Yeah, so we've had people say, look, when I walk outside to my 360 view, I'm facing as though I just walked out to it. And so if I want to come back, I have to do a 180, and then I see the blue puck with the man, and I come back in. Some people want it reversed. Some people want to walk out and be turned around automatically and be looking. And we've heard all of these requests, and our product team is definitely looking into that.
Ooh, Raul had a successful 360 placement. That's good. So there are many reports that it is getting better because it is, so the software is studying the past catalog of scans and using it to extrapolate. So the more data that's being uploaded, the more it can study and hopefully get smarter.
Getting smarter every day.
And so Raul, here's the confusion, Dee. So you cannot get matter packs or floor plans when you use a spherical camera. But when you use the Matterport camera and you convert the 360 to 3D, you
Yes.
can still get the matter
Yes.
pack.
So the matter pack and floor plan only depends on the type of camera you've used. So if all you use is your Matterport camera and you don't even own a spherical camera, do not worry. Right? You can still do 360 to 3D conversions with the Matterport camera.
And then you will be able to still get a matter pack or floor plan.
Correct. Right. And since we have now started in July charging for uploads with models that contain at least one scan with the 360 camera, you won't see that on your invoice until the next month, because remember, upload charges are calculated the following month. Also, you will only see that as well if you're on a classic plan, right? So this is a good reason to change to a new plan, because if you're just scanning with a lot of your scans are spherical camera scans, then upgrade to the new plan and it's free. Processing is free. So a compelling reason to move.
The new plans are great if you don't want to keep any of your scans. You're limited to keeping 25 active models, so if you need more than that, then it does get significantly more expensive. So you really have to consider your use case for your scans. If you're doing like insurance, or if you're doing real estate sales for markets that sell quickly, and you know that you can delete the models within a few weeks, then maybe it works out. But you have to kind of consider if you need to keep more than 25 or 50.
Right. And also take into account the fact that if you're processing a lot, that adds up quickly, right? So factor that into the cost. So there are instances where it is better to go on the new plans, and yeah. So, yep. All right.
360 views are super messy.
Thanks, Jack. Okay.
So do you mean messy in that they don't turn out well? So when you do a 3D scan, Matterport's processing system can level it, I think, up to 17 degrees. Mm-hmm. So if you're on grass, or if you're on super fuzzy carpet and the camera is not perfectly even, it'll come out nicely in the 3D tour still, because the scans are automatically evened out. But when you're doing a standalone 360 view, then it is not evened out. So if your camera is crooked, then the 360 view may come out with like a weird seam, or it may be tilted. So if you're just doing 360 views, it might pay to pay a little more attention to the levelness of the camera.
The thing that I tell people is, if you're doing a 360 view, remember we're taking 6 shots. So if there's like an angle that's super important, like if there's a house that you're taking, put the camera facing that house so the seams of one of those 6 images is not right in the middle of the house, right? So you can kind of guess where the seams will be, and sort of move your camera around when you start taking the scan. The other thing is, if your very first scan is off level, like tilted, like if you're out on a street and your very first scan is like this, then the whole rest of the scans will be tilted. So the first one is very important, that you are somewhat level.
Does that refer if you do a 360 view first?
I don't think that counts. I think it's the first 3D scan.
Okay, 3D scan. Because sometimes I do the 360 views outside before going inside.
You go backwards, Isabel.
Oh, it depends on the light, right? Because if the light is wrong, sometimes you get a terrible Matterport shadow on the sidewalk, and you don't want that. So,
good point.
Timing matters.
Yes, it does. But what I find is that if you scan the interior first and you want to go outside, if you have the wall, so for example, you have the inside of a house, and if you define that wall by scanning on the inside, and then you go outside and you scan near that wall where it has that wall as reference, the outside scans will align much better. So if you plan to scan outside, try to scan inside first and define the wall that's adjacent to the outside scans. I learned that tip from my awesome friend, Bill Robinson. He taught me that. And he's one of our best scanners. And I've seen some amazing spaces created outdoors. So it does work.
So when you have multiple 360 views and you place them all in the model, then the green discs kind
Yeah.
of sit on top of each other.
Yeah.
But
We're working on it. It's a brand new feature. We are working on it. We've heard a lot of your feedback, and I know the product team is listening. So it'll get better.
all right. What about a lot with no buildings that is on the waterfront, outside with water and the sun?
And I would love to have a walkthrough or scans.
So you can try the 360 to 3D conversion. You can do, so you need to do at least one 3D scan. Try to do it as close as possible to like a tree or the dock, some object where there's 3D geometry. So try to do a 3D scan when there's not a whole lot of sun, and then try to do some 360 views really close by and see if you can convert them to 3D. And if so, you can get a really nice walkthrough and a dollhouse with the water looking pretty and blue.
So Martin, what I would suggest, and you should try this and get back to me and let me know how it works, is I would go at night and I would put lights on top of my camera and I would scan at night. And I'll tell you why. Because our camera works so well in the dark. There's no infrared from the sun. I have seen scans that are like 20, 30 feet apart and they line up. It's amazing. It's the infrared from the sun that really confuses the camera. So we have lights that we recommend. Go to our help center, search on lights, buy a couple lights, stick them on. You just use Velcro and you stick them on top. And so it'll be lighting up everywhere as it's rotating. Try that. I've seen some really gorgeous exterior scans done that way.
Or talk to Yan. Yan has done many beautiful outside scans.
He does.
And so, Tom pointed out that the cortex conversion, when you have walls nearby, it is very helpful to the cortex conversion. So it's just like with the 3D scans outside, so the camera needs things to understand the 3D shape. If you're just in the big grassy field, then the camera won't be able to move because everything will look the same. But if you have walls or trees, then it's really helpful for the camera, either for conversion or for straight 3D scans.
Yeah, I've seen some. I think Lori has a nice outdoor scan. So yeah, if possible, share your scans on MOUG so people can see what you've done. I mean, there's some amazing things that people have scanned. So
Fabian wants to know if the 3D Showcase app will be getting an update. What features are you looking for, Fabian?
So we are constantly updating it, and there may be a new update coming out, and if there is, then you should go through the Apple App Store to update it. But you'll get notified when one comes out.
The big question is, will one ever be made for Windows or Android?
Oh, yes. So the Capture app for Android is actually in development and should be out maybe within the next year.
How about the Showcase? How about, because our clients often ask to download so that they can see offline, and they can do it if there's an Apple device involved. But if clients that are on Android or Windows exclusively, there's no option for them currently.
Right, you're right. So currently we have the Showcase for iOS app. I don't know if I've not heard of any plans for the Showcase for Android app yet. Just Capture for Android.
That'll be exciting. Many people will
be very happy.
Yes.
Yeah, good. Try exterior shots and let me know. I want to know how they turn out. Any news on a new camera? No news right now, Chris. Sorry. Raul's gonna.
Yeah, he's gonna do a big exterior scan. So the new camera, we would like to have one that scans underwater and in the air.
I would like to have a camera that cooks dinner for me.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah. All right, so the request is this camera that can scan in the air and underwater.
And
Okay.
in the sun, obviously.
And in the sun. All right, do we have any other questions?
Let's see.
Scrolling down.
Oh, Jan is very nice. You can share hundreds of outside projects.
I know, Jan is the master. He's done some amazing things. It's like, wow. Something is looming.
Something is always looming. So going back a little, Tom pointed out that in workshop, when you pan around, it doesn't stop like it's used to. And I noticed that too when I was trying to place matter tags in the new edit mode. So when you pan, it just seems to keep going in a circle.
Oh, the spinning thing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, typically in the past, that's meant that you're looking at a larger model or space. I typically will click outside of the window that has the model and then come back and it seems to fix it.
And also one strange thing that happened, so this had quite a few matter tags that I was working on, maybe 50, and after 20 or 30, the publish button would suddenly disappear.
Yeah, be careful when you're adding a ton of matter tags because you can hit the memory limit, and I've seen some people add like 100 and then suddenly you can't even open the space anymore. So save it often and make a copy if you need to, or call us and we'll make you a copy. But it's not recommended to use more than 100 matter tags.
Oh yeah, I was only at 20, but I couldn't save it because the publish button went away.
So what if you tried changing something else? Did the publish button come back?
No, I had to close down the window and restart it. And sometimes it would have saved my data, but sometimes not. So it is much faster than the old workshop, that I appreciate, but you know, sometimes you get these glitches. I wasn't in a hurry, so it was fine, but if I urgently needed to get the matter tags placed, it would make me a little anxious to have small inconsistencies.
If you do run into that, contact support and let us know, because the head engineer definitely wants to know about all these issues so that we can fix them. All right. So yeah, please, please, please let us know.
Irene wants to know if when moving outside plants messes up your outdoor scans. Yes, it does make alignment harder. When it's very windy and you have a lot of trees, then yes, alignment is harder. And this is especially the case if you're trying to do it with the VLK. The VLK hates trees, and you will be waiting 3 minutes for no alignment. And so if there's a lot of movement, then maybe it will be a good idea to use a theta or an insta, because those are just one snap. So you're not waiting for the scan to be completed while the trees are moving.
Yeah. So Tony says he's scanning a cruise ship tomorrow. Ooh, Tony, you need to bring Isabel and I to scan with you. Hoping Cortex will work well. Are you scanning an entire cruise ship with a 360 camera? You should really do that using your Matterport camera.
No, but he's hoping to do the 360 to 3D conversion, so that might take a little while.
Oh, as best as you can, try to do 3D scans only. Only revert to converting if necessary. But try to plan your scan day so that if you have to do outside shots, do them when it's not so sunny out. You'll get a way better result if you scan with 3D.
So Tom is having some issues with scans coming out washed out, and there have been quite a few complaints recently that the whole tour is kind of pale.
Yeah, so if you have those issues, send the example into support. We'll take a look at it. We're constantly trying to fix our processing software to work better. It's really hard because it's a system where we have to take into account every situation possible, but the engineers definitely want to see those and make corrections as needed. We're doing our best. It's just a really hard problem to solve. right. Oh, Tony's only scanning the deck. Scan early in the morning, Tony, or later at night, and then just eat the rest of the day. All righty. So we've hit about the 9:30 mark. I think we've answered a lot of your questions today. If of course you run into any issues with a Showcase 3 and Workshop 3, please write into support and let us know, because we want to know all them so we can get them all straightened out. And again, the documentation is coming shortly. Don't forget, we are now charging for uploads of models that have at least one spherical camera scan in it. So don't be surprised next month when you get your invoice. Other than that, thank you so much, Isabel, for your time, and not just during Facebook Live, but all during the week when you're out there helping everybody. You're always available, and you have such great information. So thank you so much for that. And of course, to Adam, who's sitting right here next to me,
Adam.
who makes all of this magic happen. Again, we'll see you the same time next week. And until then, have a great week. Oh, and have a great 4th of July.
Yes.
Take care, everyone. Bye.